Hi, this is Tamika Chambers with Create a Generational Love Cycle. And today, November 22nd, 2021, just a few days before Thanksgiving, I'd like to talk about a word that many may feel is irrelevant or hard to practice because of the abuse, the trauma they experienced as a child. Now, I can't speak for everyone, but I can understand how a violation of my rights, a violation of rights, a violation of body can have you feeling like, what kind of place is this? What is this world that we live in? And so, if you have been reading my blogs and listening to my podcast, Create a Generational Love Cycle, the reason why I titled it Create a Generational Love Cycle is because I am for peace, as I am for love, as Mother Teresa says. I don't want to fight against war. I want to fight for something, the positive thing. And it's all about even just how we retrain our mind to not think about what it is that we don't want, but what it is that we do want. And I want love. I want peace. I want compassion. I want people to live their purpose in life. I want people to be surrounded and armored with the truth that no experience robs us of something that we have in us that is eternal. A powerful spirit dressed in clothing, our skin color, our nose, our personality, but we have a power that cannot be stripped away from us. Now, we can, with the help of anger, with the help of the story that we tell ourselves about our experience, anger, fear, jealousy, resentment, vengeance, doubt, self-doubt, we can dim our light or try to dim it with those emotions and feelings. But that effervescent, that light that brightens and lives in us, that makes our heart pump and our lungs open and close, bringing in air, and our heart that pumps blood, not only to itself, but throughout every organ, tissue, cell in our body. That spirit that controls that part of our nervous system that just continues to keep our body in enough harmony that it survives, that it allows us to do the things that we want to do in life, that wakes us up every morning, letting us know this is the day that was made for you. So I've been talking about or writing about chronic disease and the link between trauma and chronic disease. That there's a lot of research out there that says that our childhood experiences tend to affect what goes on with us physically. Now, you've heard it from many great leaders, from Louise Hay with You Can Heal Your Life, You Can Heal Your Body with the book that she wrote. You heard it from The Secret and the Law of Attraction, even though we may hear of it as more of finances and wealth. You hear health too. There are many health stories that are in there about what it is that we think often shows in our physical and how our body responds, those physical symptoms that you get. And I believe what happens is that those anger and other consistent life-draining emotions, there is some type of biochemical wiring that occurs. You think about our nervous system and all those wires that extend from our head to our toe, our brain, our heart, our liver, and gallbladder. And how it interrupts that harmonious flow of nutrition, of love, because we somehow have taken on these emotions, and if we're not expressing on outward appearance, it's definitely expressing on the inward appearance. It's changing the messages that we send to our organs. We are made to live, right? And thrive and learn and express the love that is within us. But when we take on those emotions, when we take on the baggage, the pain that someone else projected on us, like childhood sexual abuse, I knew that early on, a door was open for me, a truth, a light, the clouds open, where I saw that the abuse was not about me, that it was more about the pain that he was going through and what he thought the act would bring him. Consolation would bring him peace, and it does not. Anytime you have to keep constantly doing something and you feel worse, you don't feel better about yourself, you're not expressing love, that someone is crying or upset, that is not going to help you feel better. As a matter of fact, often it helps you feel worse, and you think you need more of it to make you feel better. But in the end, it just keeps making you feel worse and worse about yourself. Because we know the truth. The truth is in our heart. It is in our mind. It is in our souls. And we know the truth. Therefore, when we do things that bring us joy and peace and happiness and purpose and understanding, we're living in alignment with our true selves, with nature. But when we project our pain, when we physically, emotionally, mentally, not giving onto others, as the Bible says, not loving each other, not treating others as we would want to be treated, we are going against the very thing that created us, nature, spirit, infinite intelligence, whatever you may call it. There is something out there that is greater than us, that is greater than our experience. And I remember when my mother moved us, me and my two other brothers, we were all under the age of 5, and we moved to Illinois from Memphis, Tennessee, because my mother left an abusive relationship. And at some point when I lived in that room, the back room, we had one room pretty much not even to ourselves. We had one room that we basically could call our home, or a place to stay. And I tell you, but I'll get to that. But we called it a place to stay. And I remember my grandmother, she had this huge window with this huge fan in it. And when it was hot, we had the fan on. When there were cool nights, the fan was off and the back door would be open, the screen door would be locked. And my bed, the bed my mom and I slept in, faced the screen door so I could see the outside. And what I used to love just falling asleep, sleeping, you guys. I did not know at the time, nor did I did not know at the time that those who experience potentially traumatic experiences have problems with nightmares and flashbacks. I didn't know that. I didn't experience that. And I would just love to fall asleep. Just something about warming my feet under the covers and feeling the chill throughout my body, and as it's warming up, it's such a good feeling. And one night I just kind of looked outside and looked around the room, and I could hear the musical, the orchestra of crickets and bellowing frogs, and looking out at the clear, dark sky, lit sky. And I knew that night, even though I could even still feel myself laying in the bed, and I felt as though that something loved me. I felt as though something was watching over me. I felt a connection to a power that we don't even know completely about. We don't understand or grasp the fullness of what makes the earth rotate around the sun, of what makes the trees blossom after experiencing so much harsh wind and wet rain and snow. We don't understand it, but we know that it is there. And I know for many of us, and one of the things I read is that often people that experience childhood sexual abuse, there are many of them that question if there is a God, if there is a higher power. Why did this happen? And some things, I've come to realize that we can't explain everything. And in the Bible, it says that my thoughts are not God's thoughts. There is a reason, though, a reason, Romans 8:28, for everything. There is a reason under the sun. There is a reason why I went through what I went through, and to come out on the other side of darkness and talk about it and say there is another way. And I dedicate one chapter, but you can see it throughout my writing, chapter 7 of gratitude. Walk in gratitude, embody gratitude. That has been the one thing that has kept me moving forward. My mom would tell us, move forward. We cannot change the past. Move forward. God is a fair God. He is always there. And I can honestly tell you, throughout my life, I have felt that there has been a God watching over me. There has been a spirit watching over me. Often I would think that it was my grandfather that watched over me. But there are things that that happened to me even when my grandfather was alive, that I know something else is out there. Gratitude is something that I have held on to for much of my life. And you've heard Oprah Winfrey, you've heard other successful people say gratitude, keep it a gratitude journal, putting gratitude, because I believe that in every experience, there is something to be grateful for. And I have over 100 things that I have listed in my memoir of things that I am grateful for. One is having the child abuse being over. That when I finally said no, God gave me a chance to say no. And I ran out of that house. And I tell you, and I've shared this before, our yard filled with plants, everything was still there, but I felt like I had entered another dimension. I felt free, and I wanted that freedom. I couldn't take back my sexual abuse, but I could take back my mind and choose what I wanted to do. Even though I've had some detours in my life, the freedom of choice, the freedom of knowing I have my body, I have my legs, I have my voice, and I've used it to help others as I am using it now. That I was able to have children, the curly head boy and girl that I wanted since my teens, and probably would God say much longer than that I wanted since my teens, and the less than 5 years age difference of my husband with the brown and green eyes, because I saw it on TV and I said, this is how I'm going to know. I would occasionally test God and say, this is how I'm going to know it is from you. Brown and green eyes. Many of the things, I never said a word to anyone else. I hid the thoughts in my heart. I hid my desires in my heart because I wanted to see God in action. I wanted him to see that I have given you, even though I could not articulate it, I want you to have a hope and a future. And I can guarantee if you are alive today and been through abuse, if you haven't said it, I will. I am glad that you are here, because I know there are many who are not here that experienced it. I am glad that you are alive. I am glad for many that are speaking their truth, writing their truth through memoirs, writing their truth in books and film, because we have a voice and we're grateful for it. Anything I tell my kids is you use what you have. And that's what I learned through my abuse. You use what you have. You focus on that instead of what you don't have. And when you use what you have, your voice, your legs, your arms, your uterus, whatever, your eyes, your ears, when you use what you have, you are showing your gratitude. You are showing what you are grateful for. And I know no child, wish that no child ever has to experience that. But I know things are happening in the world, and right now, today, it has not stopped. But I know that my experience, the experience of childhood sexual abuse, does not make us. We make us through our choices, through our conviction that we are here for a purpose. We deserve to be here, and we will be here, and we will do what we can to help others live out their purpose. What am I grateful for? So much, you guys. So much, even before I had children, even before I had the home that I have. For life. I am grateful for life. I am grateful for the lessons I learned from my childhood sexual abuse. That there are no secrets. That out of abuse can come conviction. That I can part ways. That I can embrace storms. That I can cultivate the garden that I want. That I can uncover and express the treasures that are within me, the compassion, the love, the sensitivity to see when other people are in pain, and the ability and the courage to speak up and say, that is not how you're supposed to be treated. Fair is fair. I can forgive, seek everlasting forgiveness, freedom, everlasting, because I do not attach. I try my best to not attach to my experiences, that know that I am greater than my experiences. To know that I can remember who I am through gratitude. Remember who I am, that I can create a generational love cycle with my lessons, with my life, and taking care of the vessel, the body that I have, the vehicle for my divine message, that I can sustain hope, I can sustain wellness and health, because I deserve to, because you deserve to. So I challenge you. I give you, I want to say, give you the opportunity to seek, to dig up those things, even if you could find 3 things that you are grateful for. If you've experienced, and many children have experienced some type of event. It's not just childhood sexual abuse, but it's anything where you have felt betrayed, where you have felt confused, where you have felt belittled, where you have felt embarrassed, angry, resentful, where you felt like you wanted to get somebody back for what they had done to you. There are many experiences out there just like that, that garners, that brings about those emotions and feelings. I challenge you. I give you the opportunity to express gratitude. At least if you can find 3, and even 10, or maybe even 100 things that you are grateful for before this month runs out, and something that you can build surrounding you, your foundation, and say, I am grateful for all these things, and let no baggage, any pain pierce your foundation. Put up your foundation of gratitude that really binds everything else together. Your truth, your purpose, put it up. So when things happen, you know it's not against you. That's you. You are accountable for your pain, not me. So, are you going to take the challenge? Are you going to make it an opportunity for your truth? Thank you so much for listening to Create a Generational Love Cycle. You can find me on TamikaSChambers.com, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook on Divine Purpose. Until next time, happy Thanksgiving to you guys. If you celebrate it, happy Thanksgiving to you. Happy holidays to you. I hope that you will see your life is worth living.